It's the 2K Sports Show.
I'm Ernie, that's Shaq. This is 2K Sports. Thanks for hanging with us. Miami Heat as they go up against the Indiana Pacers. For Indiana, now this is a grudge match. They lost in the conference finals against this squad last season. Dwayne Wade, as of last season, the second most efficient post scorer in the league after his then teammate LeBron James. Eric Spoelstra saying, Shaq, folks don't realize how much Wade's game has evolved over the last few seasons.
Yeah, there was less breaking down players off the dribble, more cutting off the ball and backing down on the low block. That reduces wear and tear on his knee. He still has a combination of strength and quickness, and down low, he can overpower you.
All right, folks, we got to bounce. Time to go to Kevin Harlan.
And now, your Miami Heat starting lineup. Starting at small forward, standing 6'5", number 20, the Prodigy. At the center position, at 7'0" number 21, Hassan Whiteside. Starting at point guard, at 6'3", number 7, Goran Dragic. Number 1, Chris Bosh. And number 3, Spoelstra is your head coach.
Everyone is in their seat at the American Airlines Arena as the Heat look to grab a win here in Miami. The Pacers will play just this one game on the road before returning back to Indiana. What a start to this with 8 consecutive wins, looking very good.
This is one of those games you have circled on the calendar as soon as the schedule is released. It's one of the best rivalries the NBA has to offer. And Clark, I know you and I just get excited when we get these matchups ourselves.
No doubt about it, Steve, because it seems like these two teams always have a reason to be angry at each other, and that brings out the best basketball in both of them, and we love that.
Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Hill is out there with Ellis. Then it's Paul George. Then it's Turner. And it's Hill in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Well, last year his coach Eric Spoelstra made the claim that Bosh has transitioned into being an elite defender. And he might have a point with the way Bosh has grown.
Here's the Prodigy. Three-pointer, Chris Bosh, and that's good. Bosh has got the game going with his first points of the game for the Heat.
You always like to get that first lead of the game.
Yeah, you know, Steve, a good way to set the tone early on there.
Ellis goes in, down low, Turner. Miami grabs the miss. This their first chance this season playing the Pacers.
Well, they came out on top of what was a very heated conference finals last postseason, so that should add a little something extra to the atmosphere here tonight.
Here's the Prodigy. What a tremendous game he played against Dallas. The wide open look here for Bosh. Gets an open look and hits. Bosh has got 5.
Looks like he might be on his game today, Clark.
And, you know, maybe a little bit of yapping out there, some words exchanged.
We call that jaw-jacking in basketball parlance. Maybe a little bit of that going on. You know, it's tough. You get a chance to redeem yourself a little here, but it doesn't mean much compared to the playoffs.
Strong move to like that one.
Dragic against Hill. Comes up empty down low. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a win against the Utah Jazz.
And, Kevin, in that game we saw a lot of sloppy play from the opposing offense. They coughed the ball up way too often.
Yeah, and that did make things really easy, guys. Nice to get a win if you're on that side of it and not to have to work too hard for it.
Now here's Ellis. A 17-point game for him in the win against Utah.
And Kevin, don't forget about his playmaking in that game as well. He was wonderful in terms of attacking the defense and figuring out when to shoot and when to find teammates.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, for Dwayne Wade, he's an athlete who's grown accustomed to having his personal life and his public life intersect. But he's found a way to turn that into a positive, selling the rights to a sitcom based on his experiences as a player and a parent.
And he makes the first. And Wade, generous, sharing his experiences for sure. Steve, he even released a training app for smartphones last season.
You know, I used it, Kevin. I ended up dominating my old man league in San Diego. So I'm really grateful to Dwayne for his generosity.
And Wade drops them both.
Dwayne Wade over the last 4 years adjusted beautifully to playing off the ball alongside LeBron James, and that was not easy, folks. He actually became one of the game's best cutters during that time. Now back to his old ways, playing with the ball in his hands a lot more. Should suit him well.
Now here is George. What a tremendous game he played against Utah. And it's sent back by Bosch. Here's the prodigy, defended by George. Off with the layup. And Wade still a dynamite finisher around the rim. One of the league's preeminent slashers.
Yeah, he's extremely productive in the pick and roll, able to score and make plays for others with his outstanding vision.
Now here's Ellis. 5 to shoot. Launches a 3. And Paul George with the 3. George has got 5.
So hard to try to play defense with the heightened mismatch out there that's on the perimeter. And they gave up the three-pointer.
Dragic kicks to Bosch. 16 feet away. Good.
Great job there, recognizing the mismatch and taking advantage.
They got to put a bigger guy on him. Otherwise, he'll bury those jumpers all game.
Hill with it. Last game he had 13. Outside, George in low to Hill. And he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam. Absolutely, Clark. No one in his airspace on that dunk.
Yeah, but come on, Kevin. The defense can't let that happen.
I hope they let it happen more. It's fun to watch that guy fly.
Just a gift, 2 points they gave up. That's awful.
Miami with the ball, following the score by Indiana. Dragic a screen on George. And here's Bosch for 3. And the Heat, another 3.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Hill kicks to Hill. Turner with a screen for Ellis. Now here is George. Defense right on him. Hill dishes to George. Chris Bosch with the rebound.
Well, that's an excellent challenge right there. Good job contesting that shot by the defender.
Bosch a screen on Hill. And it's Dragic off the drive. Passes it to Whiteside. Bosch kicks to Wade. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Chris Bosch, in some ways, had been the overlooked, underrated member of the Big Three in Miami, but extremely valuable. A nice complimentary scorer and understated defensively. But with LeBron gone now, he becomes more of a focal point offensively.
He misses the free throw. And Chris Bosch posted up a lot more, it seemed, to Clark in Toronto and Miami. He'd become primarily a face-up threat.
And I think that's where he's most comfortable, Kevin. More of a slender build. He takes advantage of his quickness more than his strength, so facing up is really where he's been most effective.
And he's good on the second.
The 2-possession lead is what they were looking for there, so they can deal with that one miss.
Hill passes to Turner. Rebound by the Heat. Bosch has got 5 rebounds tonight. The Heat leading by 4. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to speak with Eric Spoelstra for a moment. A key concern for his side is how to keep Monte Ellis from running amok on their defense. He said there are very few players in the league who can take a sliver or a seam in a defense and turn it into 2 points as efficiently as Monte Ellis does. He said one step and he's at the rim. We have to move our feet as a unit or he'll get to the rim all game long. Guys?
Always great to hear from you, Doris. Here's Wade after the made shot from Monte Ellis to the left side wing. Back to Wade. Dishes to Dragic. A 3 from Bosch. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. Outside Hill. George dishes to Hill. Back to George. Hill sets the screen for George. The shot goes down and he gets this game back to even. George has got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Those defenders look like they're out of gas. I mean, they're getting pushed around on the low block.
Well, their energy is lacking. They've got to start playing harder and battle down in the paint.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. They want to keep it rolling here following the win against Dallas.
And they did just what you have to do as a road team, guys. They never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Seemed like every time they took a punch, they had a counter.
You'll like this, Steve. Reverse spurtability, we call that. They had any defensive lapses, they immediately made up for it with some instant offense.
Bosch, the screen. Dragic kicks to Bosch. Goes up on the high post. Nice jump shot. Good. Bosch has got 12 in the game.
I don't think they can ask much more of him than what he's done this quarter.
Outside Turner. Pass to George. And here is Hill. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Stolen away. Pass to the Prodigy. It's stolen by Hill. Outside, George. Hill passes to Ellis. It's back to Hill. 6 on the shot clock. Here's George. Puts up the baby hook. Hill, no good.
He's got a nice touch on that shot normally, but good defense there clogging the lane.
Dragic dishes to Whiteside. Good ball movement here by the Heat. Wade kicks to Bosch. Bosch can't get that one to fall. There were a lot of great things Steve accomplished last year by the Heat, both on offense and defense, but at times people would overlook that defense.
Well, they played tremendous defense. I mean, maybe not as consistently as they have in the past, but, you know, to be as good as they were, you have to be great defensively, and I think sometimes that goes underappreciated.
Now, here is George, following the miss by Chris Bosch.
Usually, if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
It's Dragic with the drive. That is good. And the Heat lead by 4.
You know, the numbers don't really jump out at you, pop at you, regarding the Heat's defense last year. But, you know, sometimes it's not necessarily what you do, but when you do it. And the Heat were pretty good at getting big stops when they needed to.
Indiana again missing. The Heat leading by 4. Soft touch off the glass.
Late reaction from the defense. He's always going to make good on that.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
Well, a lot of the Heat's numbers might be skewed because they played a lot of high-scoring games at a high tempo. But when you have the athletic talent that they have, you better believe they're tough defensively.
And a new group in for the Heat. Chris Anderson is checked in for Whiteside. Stoudemire comes in for Chris Bosch. Luol Deng is checked in for the Prodigy. And it's Green in for Dwayne Wade. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahinmi's checked in for Hill. Allen comes in for Turner. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Monte Ellis. And Donald Sloan subbed in for Hill. Stuckey can't get it to go.
And they forced the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit.
And the wide open shot from Green. That's it, coming off an assist from Dragic. Dragic has got 3 assists tonight.
Very positive opening quarter for them. The shots have been falling.
You know, the shooting percentage would be nice if it stayed right there, but that's going to be tough to do.
Here's Sloan. And the pass to George. Shot to end this cold run. It's hauled in by Luol Deng.
Tell you what, if there's success on the boards in this first quarter is any indication, it's going to be a good day.
And rebounds usually are a good indicator.
Now here's Green. He kicks it to Deng. Green up on top. And too long on the shot.
Boy, for my taste, he's far too inconsistent with that shot. I mean, he's got to make those if he's going to take his game to the next level.
And Sloan kicks. Sloan passes to Stuckey. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. They get Luol Deng.
Well, there was a time not that long ago when Rodney Stuckey was considered a rising star in the NBA. Considered a steal with the 15th pick in the 2007 draft. But after back-to-back disappointing seasons, I think it's fair to ask, have we seen the best of Stuckey already?
He misses the free throw.
And Rodney Stuckey was playing in a contract season. Started last season breaking his thumb in his car door, and that required surgery. He missed the first month, and as a result, he never did get back to the level he had hoped for.
And he's good on the second. And for Stuckey, not an outside shooter, but his percentage of shots around the basket has dropped for 3 consecutive seasons.
Yeah, he's not drawing as many fouls. He assisted at half the rate he did in 2010-11. Some of it was fit in Detroit. No floor spacing. See if he can get back to playing his brand of basketball.
They haven't been able to stifle him defensively here.
No, their offense continues to click.
And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Heat.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is their passing. I mean, doing a nice job. Plenty of their points early on coming off assists.
And the free throw, no good.
Amar'e Stoudemire still an efficient scorer attacking the rim. The problems have been at the defensive end of the floor, where last season he fouled 4 times more than he blocked a shot. Not a great ratio. And so he's got to continue to work defensively.
Now here's Stuckey. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Allen. Nice D from Deng.
And a nice job there defensively, just getting a hand up enough to bother the shot.
Yeah, that was very nice. Impressive. It made it a much more difficult shot.
Here's Dragic. Really was a guy who also stepped up in that win against the Mavericks. And Amar'e, he's owed around $45 million over this season and next.
And that's a huge contract. Still a great scorer, but as we discussed, he's got to defend at a better level and rebound at a higher rate to command more minutes on this team, and we'll see if he can make that happen.
Here's Dragic following the score by Indiana. He feeds it to Green. Lets it go from deep. He gets hauled in by Paul George.
Things have kind of gone south for him here in the quarter.
Stuckey up top. He's guarded by Dragic. And George kicks to Stuckey. Indiana moving it around. Here's Mahimi. Good work defensively by Stoudemire. Now here's Dragic. On the wing, Green. Off target from outside. And we reach the end of the first quarter. Heat lead by 8. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back.
Coming up next Sunday night, November 16th, James Harden and the Houston Rockets go up against Russell Westbrook and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Live from Oklahoma City, Hoops Action.
Come on. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from Miami, guys.
And I thought the defense was key here for this club. They really tightened up and made it difficult.
How about the help on the drives and rotations? I mean, they've really been in sync as a unit.
Miami leading by 8. And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the court right now for the Pacers. Paul George is out there with Lavoy Allen. Then there's Rodney Stuckey. Then it's Donald Sloan. And it's Mahinmi in at the center position. And the Pacers with possession here after the Heat pick up 2.
A lot of pressure and expectation last year for the Pacers in the playoffs. No longer were they an underdog or a feel-good story. They were expected to make a deep run.
And they would return to the Eastern Conference Finals after some scares for them in the early rounds. You saw it, but Clark, once again, they could not beat the Heat.
And the difference there, Kevin, was the mentality and fortitude of the Heat. And clearly the talent was pretty equal, but I thought the leadership of LeBron and the brilliance of Dwayne Wade was just a little too much for a young, evolving team to handle.
Good insight. And the first one at the line is good. Chris Bosh has checked in for Miami. On that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line.
Well, they say that the Pacers did well in the East last season would be putting it mildly. They were the cream of the crop for most of the season.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, gentlemen, the Pacers head coach Frank Vogel has helped turn this team into a powerhouse. He's had a reputation for positivity, lifting his players up and boosting their confidence. As Paul George put it, Coach has no shame in calling you out. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get embarrassed. No one wants that, Kevin.
He'll call you out, Doris, that's for sure. Thanks. And there was a brief moment late in the season last year, Clark, where the Pacers slipped from the top spot, but they were able to get it back.
Yeah, they did, Kevin. They fought back, grabbed the #1 seed in the East, and they did earn it. I mean, 38 conference wins is a pretty impressive number.
Pacers trail by 7. Here's Sloan. 9 points last game. Allen a screen on Deng. Stuckey dishes to Allen. It's stolen by Deng. Kicks it to Bosh. The feed to Dragic. Bosh sets the pick for Dragic. Back to Bosh. Clock at 6. George against Green. Again, the miss by the Heat. And Indiana shooting a lackluster 38% for the game, struggling so far. And Sloan kicks to George. George double teamed. Here's Sloan. The shot's good on the assist by George. And now it's only a 5-point Miami lead.
Well, he wasn't phased at all by the bigger man on him. And on the low block, I thought he might be.
You know, Steve, I thought maybe he preferred to bring him out to the perimeter, but whatever works, go to it.
Now here's Deng. He had 13 points in the win against the Mavericks in Dallas. Dragic with a wide open look. No good. And they can't put an end to this drought. Pacers trail by 5. George passes to Sloan. Feeds it to Stuckey. Allen, a screen on Stoudemire, and the officials will call the illegal screen right there.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? First in opponent shooting percentage, second in opponent points per game, and they also showed up in the top 5 in blocks. A good, solid team at the defensive end of the floor.
And Clark, you know this. I mean, anytime you see a team #1 in the NBA in field goal percentage defense, you know they're getting after it. So this is a club that plays extremely hard. They take great pride in their defense. They have a concerted plan, a concerted effort every single night to try to stop the opposing team.
Here's George. He's got 9. Here in the second quarter, just under 3.5 minutes played. Stuckey dishes to Sloan. Back to Stuckey. Goes up with a stripe, and there are the Pacers with another bucket. Timeout called, the Heat.
You have to wonder, as we've seen Paul George go from good to great and then from great to fantastic the last couple of seasons, what's his ceiling? I mean, with his size and skill set, there's very little that he can't do on the floor.
A different look for Miami. Whiteside's checked in for Stoudemire. The prodigy comes in for Luol Deng. And Dwayne Wade is subbed in for Goran Dragic. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Jordan Hill, he's checked in for Mahinmi. Turner comes in for Allen. Ellis, he's checked in for George. And George Hill's subbed in for Donald Sloan. Well, Clark, for Paul George, it's incredible to think that he was taken as late as he was in the draft. But as you said earlier, his ceiling is through the roof, and he's right up there with LeBron and KD as the best threes in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. Really nice to watch his development because he's made progress each year. It'll take an incredible amount of hard work for him to surpass either of those two in the grand scheme of things, but I wouldn't doubt anything when it comes to Paul George's ceiling. It's just going to be a matter of his commitment to the work and staying focused on realizing his tremendous God-given ability.
And here's Indiana. Right now they're on a 9-0 run. Ellis kicks to Turner. Indiana moving it around. His first shot coming late. And again, it's Indiana converting.
You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put an extra body on him, get some help when he barrels his way in close. He's such a good finisher. He needs more than one guy to defend him.
Now here's Wade. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Mavericks in Dallas. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Ellis against Wade. Here's Turner. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Yeah, the defender draped all over him.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there.
And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for the Pacers.
We've seen a lot of their points coming off penetration in this first half.
Something else they've been able to do so far tonight is earn those tough points in the paint.
And that one falls for Turner. So he gets them both.
Well, the Miami Heat, since the Big Three assembled, have been a polarizing team. Some fans rooted for them, others rooted against them. Either way, they've been an incredible story for the league and become just a huge draw around the NBA.
And the Heat call time here. And now with the Big Three era coming to an end, Miami not perhaps one of the more hated teams around the NBA, but they are still at the forefront of the league scene in the East.
And while they might have lost a bunch of the bandwagon fans, by no means is this team finished with being a title threat. There's just too much talent on this roster, and for the first time in a long time, they might enjoy being viewed as underdogs.
Now, here's Green. He's got 5. The dish to Wade. Here's Bosch. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. 14 points for Chris Bosch.
The mid-range jumper becomes a pretty high percentage shot for him when he has that kind of space.
Now Hill. Hill sets the screen for Hill. Back to Stuckey. Stuckey left side. Drops it in from 11 feet. Stuckey's got the lead. Back up to 3 now for Indiana. Miami's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. Hill against Green. The drive by Wade deflects the pass and is out of bounds. The Heat able to retain possession here. And while we can, here's a look at the teams that had the fastest hands in the league last season. The Heat in second.
You could tell by watching them just how focused they were at the defensive end of the court.
Six to shoot. Here's the floater. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. The Heat shooting their 6th and 7th free throws in the game.
2.
The first one falls. Well, you wondered how things would go for the Pacers after they had a hiccup midseason. Had to call a players-only meeting.
And did so very close to the playoffs, Kevin. This team struggled because of its youth in handling the extra scrutiny and the burden of expectations. And it took them a while to kind of figure it out and weren't quite as good as they wanted to be during the playoffs.
And you can see how it affected the team early on in the playoffs. The Hawks took them to 7 games. They had some trouble with Washington. Definitely seemed like they had some issues to figure out.
Now here's Ellis. He has 6, so the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Monte Ellis is only 6'3", but makes his living in the lane. One of the truly outstanding finishers in the NBA. He's an explosive small guard who is relentless in attacking the rim off the dribble.
And for Ellis, guys, a high-impact kinetic style of play and always driving the lane. And yet Stevie played in all 82 games last season. He was very durable.
Well, among his many talents, that's another one, Kevin. The durability, the toughness to make it through the entire season. I think the coaches and teammates really appreciate that as well.
Good on the second free throw.
Monte Ellis at 6'3" is certainly a gifted scorer. He played most of his career minutes at the shooting guard position. He gives up some size there, however, and that's been a challenge for him at the defensive end.
Now here's Bosch. 14 points for him, and the wide open shot from Green. Miami no good on that time either.
Not sure why he's insisting on shooting from out there. It's just not working for him right now.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, in this new-look Heat roster, Chris Bosh's role has certainly grown. At times in the past, he said he missed that alpha dog role. Now he's out to prove he's still got it. He said he's a different player than he was at 25. More mature, a better leader, and better prepared for this all-around role. Kevin, he's excited for the challenge.
He'll be much more of a focal point, Doris. We'll see how he does. Thank you. And some have felt as a scoring combo guard, Ellis would be best as a 6th man. Steve, coming off the bench, what do you think?
I agree. You know, as talented as he is, you know, he's really kind of a combo guard who's a nightmare matchup for a lot of players. But he's not a true point, and he doesn't have that size that you want at the 2-guard spot. So, to me, the 6th man makes perfect sense.
Shoots from the elbow. And it's Miami with the rebound. Bosch has got 9 rebounds in the game. Green. Right side, dishes to Green. Fades. The rebound by Turner. And here are the Pacers now. They're on a 16-6 run. Stuckey kicks to Hill. Ellis outside. He dishes it to Turner. Outside Hill. To the middle. It's tipped. Green against Hill. Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist. The Prodigy's got his second bucket of the night. Pacers have gone 6 of 8 from the field in the second quarter. Stuckey dishes to Ellis. Hill with it. Ellis goes in. Clock at 6. Stuckey passes to Hill. And good coming on the assist by Rodney Stuckey. Hill's got 5 points in the quarter.
Now they're not showing too much respect for him defensively, are they?
Bosch, a screen on Hill. Hill against Green. Wade sets the pick for Bosch. Passes to Whiteside. Shot is off. And Indiana will go the other way with it.
You know, they haven't been able to open up a big lead, but the rebounds are starting to add up for them. They may be able to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, they've been doing the dirty work inside, Steve, playing a very tough brand of basketball.
Now here's Ellis. He's got 7. It's back to Hill. The three-pointer, no good. Miami trailing. The Prodigy passes to Bosch. Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. Green kicks to Bosch. Bosch, a screen on Hill. The Prodigy passes to Bosch. Count it from 12. Bosch has got 16 points.
And he's made the most of his chances, hasn't he? He really needs to continue to work for those good looks.
Timeout called the Pacers. And as we get a break here, important for the teams to go over their own strategy. And for the players, this is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with Gatorade. So put out your best effort as the game wears on, guys.
You know, it's amazing when you're playing during the season. If you go through a stretch where you don't hydrate, it can have a major physical toll on you. Your body wears down quicker. You don't recover as fast. And that can really take its toll over the course of an 82-game season.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Chris Anderson is checked in for Whiteside. Bang comes in for Chris Bosch. And it's Dragic in for Green. Now here's Ellis. And George kicks to Hill. Back to George. Goes up on the wing. Hits the front of the rim and out. The Heat with the lead. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Frank Vogel addressing his team. He laid out their priorities for them, which began with his admonition that offensively, they attack the basket at every opportunity. The other thing he stressed was the need to be disciplined on offense. He asked for good ball movement and good shot selection. They're not going to wait for halftime. They want those adjustments to have an impact right away. Over to you, Kevin.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Here's Ellis after the made shot from Dwayne Wade.
Well, we get a peek back now at last season for Goran Dragic. Now he ranked 15th in three-point shooting, 18th in scoring. And he also finished in the top 20 in assists. So this is a guy who really did a nice job of sharing the ball with his teammates.
And, Steve, I thought he really did a great job to finish in the top 15 in three-point field goal percentage. I mean, he was terrific at coming off screens and always seemed to find space on the perimeter to get his shot off.
First free throw is good.
You know, when you're coming off a championship, actually make that 2 consecutive championships, it's even more okay to be more concerned about the postseason than the regular season. You kind of figure out how to manage the regular season. And the Heat clearly took that approach, or at least it seemed that.
Stoudemire's checked in for the Prodigy. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
Well, what you said about the Heat, you know, beyond the resting of key guys, they seem to be more concerned about the process of things than the result during the season.
Now here's Wade. He has 7. Wade left side. Outside Dragic. Back to Wade. Second chance shot. Good. And the Heat lead by 3.
You know, something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound totals are almost identical.
No separation there. Not yet anyway.
Here's Sloan. He has 5. Dishes to Ellis. Allen with the screen for Ellis. Sloan passes to Ellis. The fader. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way. Here's Wade. On the wing, Dang. To the right side. It's Dragic with the drive. Right through the D for the layup. Now it's a 5-point Heat lead.
You know, the height difference there is huge, but he canceled it out with great body control in the air.
Exactly, Steve. He got to the hoop and wouldn't allow himself to be manhandled by the big boy.
And the first half ends in a close one. Heat out front. They're up by 5. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, I'm with Eric Spoelstra, and obviously, Coach, some great work tonight on the defensive side of the ball. How does the team's defense play into your offense?
It just energizes us. We have an ignitable group, and that's how we play. So we have to continue to stay the course and try to keep them off the two-point line as best as we can.
Eric, thank you. Kevin, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half. Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. You look at Chris Bosh in this game, I mean, he's been everywhere.
I know we've said this many times before, but I'll say it again. He had a great first half, just an explosive offensive display there.
At the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about what a great second half he had. He can usually keep it going for all 4 quarters.
Heat leading by 5. D-Wade out there with Dragic. Then there's Chris Bosh. Then there's Whiteside. And it's the Prodigy in at the small forward position. That's the group on the 4 for Miami. Now here's Dragic. The Prodigy passes to Wade. He kicks it to Dragic. The basket good off the assist from Wade. And that's now 9 points for Goran Dragic.
And again, a few more points added to the lead. They might be ready to pull away here.
I wouldn't be surprised, Steve. As well as they've got it working right now, that could be the case.
Here's Ellis. Turner with a screen on Wade. Shot clock at 6. Here's Ellis. That one rolling around and rims out.
Well, if you remember early in Eric Spoelstra's head coaching career, he was new and the big 3 were assembled. There were some people questioning Spoelstra's command, maybe even within the team. Those questions are long gone now. He has become an excellent head coach.
Here's Ellis after the Heat pick up 2. Right side Turner. Pass to George. Shoots from the right block. Good. George has got 11 points.
That's been a great day for him, and if you remember, he gave them a huge performance their last time out as well.
Wade kicks to Whiteside. Back to Wade. Here's Bosh. And the Heat get another bucket right there.
And he may be the guy to put this game even farther out of reach.
Pacers trail by 10. And it's Hill penetrating. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. He's got 7. For Miami, they've gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime. Dragic a screen on Ellis. Wade dishes to Dragic. Pass to the prodigy. Outside Bosch. 5 to shoot. Wade passes to Dragic. A basket good off the assist from Wade. Wade's got his 5th assist in this one.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
And the Pacers call time here.
Goran Dragic last season really became a premier offensive weapon, dramatically improving his shooting percentage. In fact, over 50% from the field and 40% from long range, while scoring 20 points a game. Only the 3rd player in the last 2 decades to hit those marks.
Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. And it's Hill penetrating. Dragic with some nice D. The Heat leading by 11. And Dragic can do it all offensively. Clark spread the floor, slash to the rim, and he got to the line over 5 times a game.
That ability to get to the line puts defenses in quite a bind. And when you lay off of him, you can rise up and knock it down, and you crowd him, he'll blow right by you and get to the line.
Now here's Dragic. George Hill missing his last shot. And it's Dragic off the drive. The prodigy off the mark there with the 3-point shot.
Can't connect there, but still a red-hot start to the half, hitting 4 of their first 5 field goal attempts.
And the pass to Ellis. Ellis left side. Indiana needs to get a shot off. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And a moment now to check out the lowdown on the numbers for Monte Ellis. Good season for him last year. He was around 19 points a game last year, 5 assists and 3 rebounds. When you have a shooter like him off the bench, it makes finding points a lot easier.
Well, Steve, you know, things can get stagnant without offense coming off the bench, and he always can supply some shooting.
And that one misses. A lot of positive, Steve, for the Pacers last year and how they started the season. And, you know, Clark, you saw this firsthand every night, dominating early, but they did have a falling off point.
Yeah, after the All-Star break, they went from looking unbeatable to looking like just another team, but they were able to gather themselves just in time and make a deep playoff run.
So neither attempt will fall that time for them.
You know, with the Pacers, although they didn't end the regular season as they might have wanted to, they were still able to rest a number of players down the stretch and prepare for their playoff run, which ended up with the conference finals again.
Now, tough call there on that illegal screen.
He didn't look set to me, Steve. I thought that was a good call.
Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Ellis. Second half here. We're just over 3.5 minutes into it. Stuckey kicks to Turner. Takes the turnaround J. That's good. Turner's got it back down to within single digits for the Pacers.
Well, the Pacers were running away with the Eastern Conference last year, and I think they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit in the second half of the year. They struggled at times, made some moves, but ultimately righted the ship and made a deep playoff run.
Timeout called the Heat.
Well, you know, both of these teams certainly in the conversation when you talk about NBA dynasty, with some epic finals performances to show for it. Always a pleasure to watch these two teams face off.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. He told his guys, when we've got the ball, let's take it right into the teeth of the defense. Attacking the basket is going to be their MO. He also wants them to concentrate on working as a team at the offensive end. Passing, patience, and teamwork. Those were the messages. Those could prove to be crucial changes to their strategy with this game getting ready to enter the stretch drive, Kevin.
Always great to hear from you, Doris. Now, here is George. After Dwayne Wade's miss, and the shot is good. 6 points for the prodigy. And stylistically, the Spurs and the Heat at different ends of the spectrum, certainly, Steve. The Spurs averse to the glitter and the glamour.
Yeah, whereas in Miami, you got the pyrotechnics, the fog machines. It's star power all the way. And I think in a way, the NBA kind of needs both approaches. They both have their place.
Just 5 on the clock. Here's the Prodigy. Good on the baseline, Jay. The Prodigy's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Wow, he was just wide open there. That's way too easy.
Hill kicks to George. Good, the assist goes to Hill. Hill's got his 3rd assist on the night.
Boy, they are having their way in the paint right now. So many looks right at the rim.
Defensive rotations have been a step slow, and it's helped them get the ball in close time after time, Steve.
Bosh, a screen on Hill. Wade passes to the Prodigy. Wade against Hill. No good from Wade. Pacers trail by 7. And George, here we go. And he gets the bucket. George has got 6 here in this quarter.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Boy, the ball movement's been fantastic here the last few possessions.
Hill against Dragic. And that is good. And the Heat lead by 7.
And as hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan should be simple. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
And here is Hill. He has 7. He feeds it to George. Left side, George. Bosh grabs the miss. Bosh has got 11 rebounds in the game. Wade dishes to Bosh. Kicks it to Whiteside. Bosh against Stuckey. Bosh, a screen on Hill. Here's the Prodigy. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And let's take a moment, guys, to get your take on the scoring so far for the Heat.
They've knocked down plenty of mid-range jumpers in this one. That's been big for them.
And how about the touch they've displayed from long range, guys? I mean, as a team, they are really shooting the ball well and executing from the perimeter.
And the first one at the line is good. A different look for Miami. Luol Deng is checked in for Whiteside. And it's Gerald Green in for Dwayne Wade. In Indiana with a change here, too. Mahimi's checked in. Both shots good from the stripe.
For a long time now, the Western Conference has been the deeper conference as the top 5 or 6 teams have legitimate title hopes. But last year for the East, he was especially down, and it was really viewed as a 2-team conference.
Now here's Stuckey. He has 5. Green with the block, and he recovers it. It's stolen by Dragic. In transition, here comes Miami. And that one's good. Dragic has got the lead up to 11 now for Miami.
He is remarkably hot this quarter. He has yet to miss a shot.
Timeout called the Pacers.
Well, Goran Dragic is one of those interesting character studies. Off the court, he's very humble and quiet and laid back. But I'll tell you what, when he gets on the court, he plays with an aggression and a fire at both ends of the floor.
The Heat making a switch here. Anderson's checked in, and a change for the Pacers. Allen's checked in for Jordan Hill. Here's Stuckey. Outside, George. No good with the triple. We talk about Dragic. Plays with a lot of heart, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He plays with emotion and ferocity and intensity. I mean, he gets into you defensively, applies pressure, and creates turnovers, and does the same thing by attacking offensively.
6 on the shot clock. That's good from Deng on the assist by Bosh. And the Heat lead by 14.
Boy, they've come out of halftime just smoking hot from behind the arc.
Hey, trust me on this one, partner. They are going to continue to let them fly.
Now, here is Hill. He has 7. Stuckey outside. Back to George. To stop the run. And an air ball on that one. Way off. And now running it up the court. Green pushing it all the way. Dang with the bucket.
Well, as they continue to dominate, you wonder just how much higher this lead might get.
I think it really could get out of hand, and you can credit their defense just as much as their offense for that.
Out to Stuckey. And there's the feed to Mahinmi. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, let's take a look at Paul George and how his last season turned out. 5th in steals, 11th in free throw percentage. And he became a real offensive threat, one of the top 15 scorers in the game.
He also managed to be top 5 in steals as well, Steve, and that was significant. I mean, he was really good at lulling ball handlers to sleep, giving them kind of a false sense of security, and then he'd pounce on it as it was being dribbled to the floor. And he got a lot of his pilfers that way.
And the first one at the line is good. Amare Stoudemire. He's checked in for Chris Bosh. The Pacers also with a sub. Donald Sloan's checked in for Hill. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Here's Dragic. He's got 18. Outside, Green. Out left to the wing. Stoudemire kicks to Dragic. Dang passes to Green. Dang with the screen for Green. 4 on the clock. Dragic with a wide open look. And it's off from three-point range. Pacers trail by 14. Stuckey with it. Now guarded by Dragic. The 15-footer, and he gets it to go. And that's now 7 points for Rodney Stuckey. Miami's gone 3 of 5 with the long ball since entering the second half. Stuckey against Green. Stoudemire dishes to Dragic right at the free throw line, and there's another one for the Heat.
And assists like that have typified their effort today. Great ball movement.
Really an example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Now here is George. He's got 15. Here's Sloan. Feeds it to Stuckey. 6 on the shot clock. The dish now to George. From downtown. The rebound by Anderson. Anderson's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Green kicks to Anderson. Passes it to Deng. Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. There's a good screen. Over in the corner, Green. Off target with his 3.
Well, in most games he can knock it down from deep, but it just isn't there for him in this one.
And Sloan kicks to Allen. From 11 feet away, Green with the block. Outside, Dragic. Green left side. .132 left in the third quarter.
Gerald Green played a big role last season for the upstart Suns. He shot well from long range, and of course, the former dunk contest champ, more than capable of finishing around the rim.
And for a player who was basically cast off by the Pacers, Gerald Green, Clark, played a career high in minutes with the Phoenix Suns.
Really happy for Gerald Green. He is instant offense, a tremendously talented player. He's gone the long way to get back to the NBA, but he seems to be solidly anchored in now.
Free throw good, Green. Gerald Green, hot and cold throughout his career, drafted 17th back in 2005. Steve, the 2007 dunk contest champ, we were there to see that. Then out of the league for over 2 seasons.
Well, Kevin, he was even waived by his teams in Russia and China. So you think about how much he's improved. It's incredible. He's always had the talent to play in this league. I think, had to figure out his niche and understand, how to limit his mistakes. But last year, a terrific campaign for him.
And you talk about Green's dunk contest win, a 6'8" with a 39-inch vertical. I think that 39 might be low. I've seen Gerald put his head in the rim and look down. I mean, in games, hey, I can't even do it justice trying to describe it. Just go online and look up some of Gerald Green's dunks. You'll be amazed.
Now, here is George. 15 points in the game. Good on the shot.
Another good look there, and that's his second three-pointer of the game.
The Heat leading by 13. There's the pick. Anderson outside. He dishes it to Dang. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession.
Then you look at Green's athleticism. I think he can continue to improve as far as rebounding and defense. He has all the tools to be an impact player at that end as well.
Now here's Stoudemire. And a miss there off the inbound. 43 seconds left to play in the third. Sloan passes to George. And a wide open look here for Ellis. Miami grabs the miss. At one point, they led by 16. And it's Dragic off the drive. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Dragic has got 16 points here in the second half.
And their interior defense getting exposed once again. How many open looks at the rim are they going to allow?
And Sloan kicks to George. Pulls up on the wing. Misses off the left iron.
Can't get a much better look than that, though.
Sure can't. Not one you'd expect him to miss there. Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. It's the Heat as they wrap up the third quarter with an energy burst, a 19-7 run. And time for the short break.
Next Tuesday, November 18th, Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans took on DeMarcus Cousins and the Sacramento Kings. A Western Conference battle. Do not miss it.
Pacers trail by 17. And a look at the five for the Pacers to start the fourth quarter. They've got Ian Mahinmi. Paul George is out there with Hill. Then it's Ellis. And it's Sloan in at the point. Hill. And he floats in for the easy two. Credit the assist on that one.
Well, you just can't give them that kind of position in the post.
I'll tell you what, when he gets it in that tight, he's going to bury those.
Stoudemire with a screen on George. And Dang, here we go. Rocket 6. Here's the prodigy. Here's Whiteside. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two.
Boy, still waiting for their first miss from the foul line this half.
100% since halftime, is that right? I'm not sure this lead's going away anytime soon if that keeps up.
Hassan Whiteside. 2.
That free throw, no good. Chris Bosh is checked in for Miami. The Pacers also changing it up. Turner comes in for Mahinmi. And it's Hill in for Donald Sloan. Good on the second free throw.
They're doing a great job here in the second half. They've brought their free throw percentage up quite a bit. And that's winning basketball. That's one of the ingredients in winning basketball. Good free throw shooting.
Hill drives in. Ellis wide open. Wide open, couldn't capitalize.
Not a bad look at the hoop, just couldn't get it to bounce in for him.
To the inside. Here's Dang. The shot misses. Excellent D there from George. Pacers trail by 16. Dishes it to Turner. It's Ellis on the wing. He kicks to George. Here's Hill. No good. And Miami the other way now. First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. The prodigy passes to Wade. Bosch heads the pick for Wade. Then kicks to Wade.